Hello, my name is Lottie DL and today I'm going to talk to you all about recycling. Now, I get a lot of questions about recycling and it's easy to understand why, because with so many different options and so much rubbish that we create as a household, it's hard to know where everything goes. So unfortunately, the statistics in Australia aren't great. Around 15% of the rubbish that ends up in your yellow bin or your recycling bin is actually incorrect. So that means that this bin is then contaminated and the actual garbage truck that goes into is contaminated as well. Back in 2017, Asia decided to turn away Australia's recycling, and this was largely due to how contaminated it was. So the best thing that we can do is contaminate our waste less, so it means that at the other end of the journey that there is less for the machines and the people to do. So it's really hard in Australia because every single council, city and state has different recycling laws. So a couple of things that you need to remember when it comes to recycling is, if in doubt, throw it out. Now, I know this can sound completely counterintuitive, but if you're really not sure if something can be recycled or not, you're better off to pop it in your red bin and send it to landfill rather than contaminating your waste. Some other things to remember are that when we send things to recycling facilities, we need them to be of a decent size. So bottle tops and small pieces of recyclable material aren't able to be recycled if they're smaller than a 50-cent piece. So what we can do is you can actually collect all of your bottle tops and pop them into a container of a similar metal or a similar material. So in this case, a tin can, and then you could pop it into your yellow bin. But if you had just all of these loose little pieces of the bottle tops, we'll just continue using that one, and they went into that bin, yes, they could probably be recycled in the long run. It's just going to be more difficult for those facilities. And what we want to do at home is we want to make it as easy for the facilities as possible. Another thing to remember is that when you have two different types of materials, so say for example a glass jar with a metal top, we need to separate those before we place them into the bin, because when they go to a recycling facility, these facilities break down everything into those different materials. So one stream will be glass, another one will be paper if you don't have a special paper bin, another one will be metals. So what we can do by separating, taking the jar off the top, the jar lid off the bottom, we're actually giving them a helping hand. When it comes to things like your milk bottles, for example, leave the milk bottle top on because that is the same material. So it works like so. What else can you do when it comes to recycling? Another thing as well when you're thinking about paper is a small amount of plastic is okay with paper. So say when you get a paper envelope that has a little plastic glass window, that's fine to still go into your paper bin or your recycling bin without having to cut it off. But if you've got a large box that's got a lot of sticky tape, that's probably too much plastic. So if you can take the sticky tape off when you're breaking down the box to pop it into your recycling bin, put the sticky tape in the red bin and then the paper in the blue bin. Again, it just comes down to making it that little bit easier when it gets to the other end. With plastic in particular, you'll actually see on the bottom of most of the plastic that you have, there is a little resin code. This resin code will be in a little triangle that has a recyclable symbol, and it'll be numbered from 1 to 7. So on that code is actually a really good indicator of what the type of plastic is and how it can be recycled. Another great thing to do is, if you live in New South Wales, is to download the Recyclemate app. It's a new app that's come out in the last year or so, and what you can do is you actually scan the barcode on the product that you're not sure how to recycle, and it will tell you, depending on your council area, how you can dispose of that piece of rubbish. It's a really great idea and a great app. The other thing is, if you are constantly coming to the bin every week going, I don't really know about this one, do your research into it. Don't throw it out all the time. Do your research into your local area, ask questions, and you'll be able to find the answers and recycle better. As always, if you have any questions, please don't be afraid to let me know. The one thing that I want to also talk to you about before I go is about washing your recyclables. Now, again, this depends on the council area that you live in. A general rule of thumb for me is that I like to give everything a good rinse, because then it will make my yellow bin less smelly. Because if you've got old pasta sauces and yogurts and milks and everything, that bin's going to get pretty stinky after a while. So give it a good rinse and then pop it in. But if you do have something that's on paper, like a greasy pizza tray, a pizza box for example, the bottom of the box that has got that pizza grease on there won't be able to be recycled, but the top that's nice and clean that hasn't touched the grease is able to be recycled. So again, if you can give it a little bit of a rinse, help the guys at the other end, then that would be much appreciated. Let me know if you've got any questions or if you'd like to share any extra information about recycling. Look forward to hearing from you.